I took all these screenshots for Nysha in Stardew Valley, and I really have no idea what to do with them since I'm not really writing, and the problem with that is that I've been playing so far ahead, there's no way that I could write anything for Nysha at this point. At the point that I am in play right now, I'm at the very end of the 5th year. So I have thousands of screenshots, or at least 8,000, and I have no idea what to do with them, so I thought that I'd make a little slideshow. So let's start off with who I am. So I'm Lacey, and otherwise known as Stormy Days Games or Rainy Days Games previously. And what I've done for the last 5 years, it will be my 5th anniversary soon of writing a blog. I've been playing Sims, the various Sims games, and writing kind of a commentary about all of the crazy things that my Sims got up to. And at this point, I'm just kind of burnt out on Sims and writing in general, and I've been playing Stardew Valley, and I really love it. It's actually probably one of my favorite games that I've ever played. And so here I am just trying to figure out what the heck do I do now that I'm not writing or anything. And I did plan to write about this character here, Nysha, and I did start a intro for her on my blog, which I ended up taking down later because I realized there's no way that I could play slow enough to actually write anything about it without writing like 10 chapters a day, because I was playing so much. I was playing, and I still am, like a season or two, and not a season or two, a season every day or two, because I have no life and I play a lot. So my plan with Nysha, this character, was to make it go as long as possible. I did try finding some challenges for Stardew Valley, but it seems like all of the challenges were how fast can you get it done, and I did do the fast thing. I had a character, Bryn, where I did, by the end of the 1st year, almost everything. I had almost everything for the community center. I had gone to 120 in the mines, and I'd gone to the Skull Cavern and all that. And at that point I was just like so bored. So my goal was with Nysha to make it go as long as possible. And so what I did was not have her garden at all for like the first 2 years. And she didn't start the community center until the end of the 3rd year. Okay, yeah, that's the 3rd year. I didn't start the community center until the end of the 3rd year. She didn't even get married until like the end of the 3rd year. And you will see that some things look a little different, and that's because I have a few mods. In Sims, I was a total mod addict. I'm trying not to use too many mods, but I do have some dialogue mods and a few that change the looks of the sprites, like Elliot and stuff. So, let's see, it was like the 4th year before she really got anything done, like, as you can see, the community center. And so I just made sure that it took a long time, and I just messed around. Here she is finishing the museum, and, I don't know how to explain it. I just wanted to make it last as long as possible. So instead of spending, trying to get to the very bottom of the mines right away, I just had her kind of mess around and do the monster slayer goals and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I found out that the monsters in the upper floors of the mines would drop, or had a chance of dropping, the prismatic shard, that I did power through to 120, but then I started going back up to the upper levels again, And I don't know, it was just a lot of fun trying to stretch everything out. I didn't do the legendary fish until, gosh, the 5th year, I think. Yeah. And I think I am going to get into the part right here where I did fishing, because her life was mostly fishing at first, other than, you know, chatting with all the villagers and all that, and occasionally mining. So fishing was, and it's funny because I absolutely hated fishing, and now fishing is one of my favorite parts of the game, especially trying to catch treasure chests, which I hated at first too. And now I'm like addicted to it. What could I get in my treasure chest? And it's just a lot of fun stretching things out. So the only thing that she really got done really fast was the fishing, and everything else I just kind of stretched out as long as possible. So yeah, and here she did get the mutant carp, and I was just trying to catch carps, and I got the mutant carp. And there were some fishes that I felt were really hard to catch, and so I made the little thing in my keg shed thing, you know, kind of a trophy of all of these fish that I had caught. And I've still got space for one more. I don't know what I want to put there. It's just been a lot of fun, you know, trying to make it stretch out and trying to do things different than you would normally play the game. Because usually, you know, you start and you do the community center and you get to the bottom of the mines, and everything's about getting to like the Skull Cavern and getting all of the iridium as fast as possible and passing Grandpa's you know, his little test thing at the beginning of the 3rd year. And I made sure that I would not pass that test in the 3rd year. And so in the slides you'll see right now, she did a lot of tree planting. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what are you talking about, tree planting? But to me, I thought, you know what, I want to plan out her farm from the beginning instead of waiting until the end. And a lot of my plan included a mushroom tree. And in the very end of fall, in the 2nd year, she did get a mushroom tree. And I was really excited about that, and finally cleared out some of the trees to make room for mushroom trees, because I was so excited. I mean, mushroom trees, you've got to admit, they're one of the coolest things in the game. You know, that and like the mega crop's a lot of crops planted. The giant crops, there we go. And then in the 3rd year, she got another mushroom tree. And then in the 4th year, she got another mushroom tree. But I mostly only keep the main area where I originally had the mushroom trees. And it's pretty cool. I really like the mushroom trees. And it takes a little while to get all those mushrooms off the tappers, but I love it. And I just spend a lot of time just kind of screwing around on her farm. Okay, so we're getting to the slides now of her gardening, and it was the 2nd year, and I let her plant some coffee beans, and then she planted peppers, because peppers are what you need for spicy eel, which is like my favorite recipe in the whole game, because it gives you speed and luck. So it's kind of like a long-term coffee instead of having to constantly drink coffee. So the 3rd year, she planted at first just mixed seeds, and then after that she got strawberries, because I had all these kegs and nothing to really put in them, because as you might know, salmon berries and all of those blackberries and stuff that you forage don't really make anything off of the things, you know, the wine. And so now we're getting into where I actually started planting things in the garden, because I was doing the community center the 4th year. And I did, when I unlocked the greenhouse, she did the mixed seeds, because if you didn't know, if you plant mixed seeds in the winter in your greenhouse, it gives you things from all three seasons, because there's nothing in winter other than the, foraged seeds. So my plan now, which hasn't worked out yet, is to have all three of the giant crops in a row, and then I'll finally plan the layout of that area at the top. And now we're getting to the slides with the animals. And so we named the dog Fluffykins because I thought it was funny when she got married to have them say, "I filled Fluffykin's water bowl." And I had this absolute obsession with hay because in my last playthrough I kept running out of hay. So you'll find out more about that later. But yeah, here at the beginning of the first winter I had like over 2,000 of hay. And right after I had bought the void egg from Krobus, of course the witch comes. And then at the beginning of the first spring, she found the dino. And I was just so excited about that. So my life became mushroom trees and dinos for a while there. It was just so exciting. And I bought it, made a second coop, and ended up having a coop just for the dinos. And yeah, I did coop master at first. I did end up changing that later to the artisan thing. But the dinos have their own coop. I did end up catching 2 more dino eggs fishing, which I kind of feel bad because other people are like way in the game and still haven't caught one, and I've got 3. So here's just all of my animals and my horse and all of the grass, because for some reason I'm completely obsessed with hay. And I ended up getting the slime hutch and raising slimes, and I had a lot more fun with it last time that I did slimes. I don't know why I'm not enjoying it as much. I mean, I've got all kinds of different colors for the slimes and everything, and it's pretty cool, but I don't know, they're just not as exciting as they were, probably because I've got them fenced in. Last time I had like free range slimes, and maybe I'll let them do that soon, let them hang out in the area by the mushroom trees or something. But yeah, I love the animals and all of that, and it's funny because, it's like a farm simulator, and you'd think that the favorite thing to do would be the farming part, with the planting and stuff, but truthfully, I just don't like it. It's so stressful trying to get everything planted. Okay, so now the part that we're getting to is I kind of forget things pretty quick, and so I started taking screenshots pretty much right away of what the oracle said for the day. That way I could look in my screenshots. So I went through all of those screenshots and found ones over time that the background changed or her look changed, because I was constantly changing her look with that one mod that I use, the mirror mod. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to see just how everything changed in her house and everything as time went by. And it's funny, I really love decorating. And it's always been really fun to go to like the trader cart and to Robin and try to get furniture. I did finally buy the furniture catalogs not long ago because I wanted something for the keg room and couldn't find it. But as you'll see, the only time, I don't know if I even mentioned yet that she did the year 4 twice, and this part here with her in the weird clothes and everything, that was, part of that, with the 4th year that didn't happen. And it was right after she had married Elliot, and I blame the whole thing on me personally being in a really bad mood. And, when I played Sims would die when I was in a bad mood. And this time, I just kind of, I don't know, I divorced Elliot and ended up dating a bunch of the different people in town and all this stuff. And then I ended up realizing I was completely miserable, and going back to a save from when she had just married Elliot, and you know, it ended up working out pretty good. And he is not the same Elliot, you know, because I have mods and all that. So I ended up going past this last time. So I'm going to finish up here, and I hope you've enjoyed this little look into Nysha's life.